Do you ever get almost done with an image and then all of a sudden you go, oops, I goofed up something? Well, when we're going through and doing our retouching, Photoshop by default sets 20 history states. In most cases, that's plenty to have to be able to go back if you have a problem. But if I do have a problem and I use my history to go back, I lose everything that I've done in between, and I really don't want to do that. Well, if we take a look at this particular image, we've got the gentleman nicely retouched here. Let me go back in our history here, and you can see exactly this is what it started out like, and then this is where I'm at right now. Well, I'm almost done with the image, but if you look down below here, when I was using my clone stamp tool, you can see I actually accidentally grabbed a piece of his collar. I've done this many times before when you're down working, trying to get off razor burn and some different things like that. Well, that was done very, very early in the process. It's way beyond where I have for my history states. So what I want to do is I actually want to be able to fix that area. Well, that's where we've built the Oops brush. The Oops brush allows us to be able to selectively restore any part of the image. All I have to do is double click on the Oops brush, gives me a nice small brush, and so now I can just come into this one area and I'm just wiping back and forth across there. You can see how I was able to take and restore it back to its original skin there. So we were able to take and save it without having to go back in and use time-consuming cloning. You can see where the Oops brush works by default at 40%, so it's going to take a couple times to wipe across there. Sometimes if you're working under somebody's eyes and you make them too flat, you could lightly go back under there and you could slowly bring back some of that under the eyes. It works great on necks on older people. Well, sometimes we'll want to take and remove everything. If I want to remove everything, I can hold my Command key, click on the Oops brush, and that'll take and you set the brush setting at 100%. So I can take off everything. Well, sometimes we actually take and use the skin retouching key and use the portraiture plugin. If I do retouching work after I've run the portraiture plugin, I don't necessarily want to take off the portraiture. I want to be able to take and actually leave that on there. Well, if I hold my Shift key and double click on the Oops brush, that will only affect what's happened after I've used the portraiture plugin. So let's go ahead and take a look here. If you look right up here, he actually had a mole right there by his eye there. And moles are something that we don't usually take out because they're a permanent thing. So what I want to do is I can actually come in here now and I can take and I can paint over that area to be able to bring that mole back, but yet it didn't cause a difference in the skin because that mole came off after I ran my portraiture plugin, so I was able to hold the portraiture effect on the image and yet still restore the mole.